welcome to RedditUp. This is a show where we discuss the past week's happenings on that website you might know as Reddit.com.
Love Reddit.com. If you never heard of Reddit.com, well, where the hell you been? Actually, it's a social news website where you can, as a Reddit community member, submit stories that the community would vote up and down, participate in a variety of subreddits. Those are Reddit pages that appeal to people who have specific interests. Reddit slash...
Someone was talking about pictures of trails.
I was trying...
You know, when people walk and
like hiking trails?
Yes, and it wears a trail into the ground.
See what I'm
saying? People take pictures of those. It's a whole subreddit, and it's vibrant. And
it's a vibrant subreddit.
Yes.
Because people are like, you know what? That's a really cool trail.
Mike Elgin was just telling me about pictures of trails.
Is the idea that the trail is not like park ranger sanctioned?
Yeah, I don't know.
It's just an organic trail that people say, we're banding together, we're gonna walk across this mountain. Look, a trail has emerged.
Yes, yeah, I'm trying to Google it. I was hoping that pictures of trails would be...
Now, why are you Googling something that's supposedly a subreddit is my question.
Well, sometimes when you Google something, the subreddit is the first, Reddit that comes up.
Because it's so strange, where else would it be?
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
And I know it's something to do, it might be pics of trails. You need to, it's like a URL, you need to get it just right. And I just remember that there was pictures of people who had taken pictures of trails, and I can't find the subreddit.
Well, good times.
Right.
Good times. The idea is that there are thousands of subreddits, so you know you won't be blamed for not being familiar with one. But it is kind of our job here on RedditUp to inform you of the coolest stuff. There's so much of it. We'll try to do as much as we can each week. This is a fourth beta show of the show RedditUp. We're going full force, just getting some things in order. You know, last week we were on a different set. We're doing some experimentation. We're back on the living room set this week. We felt more comfortable here. Chad is in Indian style.
I'm sitting again.
It's a yoga pose, you know. So you're gonna be very zen.
Really?
You're gonna be very zen.
I don't know why, but I never got. I think this is such a rat hole. But as a child, I remember my parents were like, "We can't sit like that anymore. Our legs don't bend that way." And I was like, I never want that to ever happen to me ever in my life. I want to always be able to sit Indian style, and so I try.
Well,
I force myself to sit Indian style.
Oh, you've got a few years before your knees give out on you.
Yeah.
I can still sit Indian style as well.
That's good.
So yeah.
That's good.
I mean, it's bodes well for the next decade of your life.
That's good.
You're gonna be okay.
So let's start off with some of the things that have happened on Reddit. The biggest story is that they have changed the default subreddits.
So what are default subreddits?
So the default subreddits are when you go to Reddit.com and you're not signed in, they need to show you something. So so they give you a few subreddits that you're basically subscribed to automatically so that you can see what's going on the internet's front page. And in the past, there was around 25 default subreddits. They've upped that. They've almost doubled it to 50. So now we have a whole bunch of new subreddits. This is the blog post that they put up. And then there's also a few that have kind of fallen away. We don't have technology anymore, which we covered a few weeks ago. We have futurology. And we don't have...
Futurology?
Futurology.
So it's like technology of the future. Okay,
right.
All right.
Right.
You know, Reddit says in this blog post where they explain what they're doing, it's sort of an experiment. They say, we plan on changing the defaults more often. We're always looking for great subreddits to potentially add to the list. So it sounds like they just want to keep it fresh. For new users, you know, maybe you're not interested in technology. Futurology might grab somebody and keep things moving.
And so here's a list of all of the current subreddits. This includes the old ones and the new ones. And it's going to make the front page a lot more fluid. So things from...
Nothing looks more fluid than this list of subreddits.
But no sleep might arrive on the front page, which is kind of crazy. But
what's that?
No sleep is like nightmare fuel.
Oh.
It's scary stuff. You probably don't have to click into it. Thanks, Josh. The headlines are always, like, if you look at the headlines, you're like, oh. And if you click in, it's like...
I got it. Yeah, it's the stuff that keeps you up at night.
Didn't need to know about that.
Of. Yeah, I don't need that either.
Absolutely. Some of the nice ones of the new ones are shower thoughts.
Wait.
Shower thoughts are things that you think of when you're in the shower because you have a little bit of time.
I've always wondered why people feel like they get some of their best thinking done in the shower, or shower singers.
Yeah, yeah.
When I'm in the shower, I'm like a zombie.
Yeah.
Like
Really?
Yeah, it's like shampoo.
Really? No, I
razor,
look forward to thinking about the day and thinking about
How
stuff.
long are your showers?
Long.
Okay.
You
realize California's in a severe water drought, right?
My brain is in a drought of time.
Okay.
And also, like, I shave in the shower. I find it very therapeutic.
You just think. You're thinking.
I think.
All right, well, so what are some shower thoughts?
So this was from Dreamcast3. He says, I'm still in a game of tag from 8 years ago.
Oh,
From 8 years ago, what if I was in tag and I'm still it? I never was not it. And that probably is happening to you, too.
This is something that's weighed on his mind for 8 years.
Yeah.
And these are shower thoughts.
Or it's something he just thought of in the shower that there was probably a time when he was playing tag that he was still it.
There's actually a funny shower thought from Nico the cat who says, there's probably a real Nigerian prince who nobody trusts because of all those other phony princes saying, I've got all this money for you, please give me your bank routing number.
Yeah.
The real Nigerian prince is like, you guys, I am a prince.
Listen, why does no one respond to my
throne.
emails?
You know?
No one
I have
responds.
so much money, I don't know what to do with it. You don't,
I try to
sure?
give it away.
You live in a very quaint village. I can make it better.
That's great. My last one, Waka Flocka Wombat says, right now you are the oldest you've ever been and the youngest you will ever be.
Brain melt. Yeah, that's true. You're absolutely right. Waka Flocka Wombat, which is a really great username, by the way.
Waka Flocka Wombat.
Waka Flocka Wombat. Yeah. Oh my gosh, I just got older.
Yeah, I know. And you will never be.
Oh my God, I just got older.
Young again. Right now, you are the youngest you will ever be.
I was so young 5 seconds ago.
I know.
Ugh, this is hurting.
Oh,
Let's move on. All right, so we've got writing prompts,
this is a new
which
subreddit.
is also a new subreddit. Writing prompts. So what's the story behind this? This is a subreddit dedicated to basically inspiring people to write, like giving them a little bit of a premise type thing.
Right. Coming up with an idea to write is sometimes the hardest part, and sometimes when I've actually tried to write a few times. You Google ideas, but there is kind of you kind of feel a little guilty that you're taking someone else's idea. At this subreddit, this is what they do. They're just like, here's an idea. Please write about this. Please take this and run with it.
That's super cool. It's like being in a book writing club.
Right.
You know when this would really come in handy? This is later on in the year in November, NaNoWriMo.
NaNoWriMo.
Which is National Novel Writing Month, which I've actually never participated in, but I have a lot of friends who have. The idea is you spend 30 days writing a novel and not getting too weird about the details of it, just writing it out.
Yep.
So you got the novel, and then you go back and edit it. This would come in handy. Because usually, I sit there going, I have no ideas.
Yeah. Here's one from Ophelia. Says, you're an office cleaning person. You've never met the person you're cleaning for. You see how their office/desk reflects big changes in their life. So it's like one day I walk in and
I see.
And the picture of his wife is now turned down on his table and he's not looking at it anymore.
Or somehow like you were really a messy office person.
Right.
Your office was just a mess, and all of a sudden everything is neat, and the office cleaning person is like something major just happened. It's like a Don Draper moment. No spoilers, but you know, coming to Jesus a little bit.
These are just great. And finally, Life Pro Tips, where basically it gives you life pro tips.
Is this like life hacker type thing?
Yeah.
So it's little things that you know, life hacks.
Yeah, it's like this is like you can take 2 eggs and a ½ cup of oil to turn any cake mix into cookie dough.
What?
No idea.
Now hold everything, because I always have 2 eggs, because I love eggs.
And a ½ cup of oil.
I've always got a ½ cup of some kind of oil.
Turn that cake mix into cookie dough.
I don't necessarily always have cake mix on hand, but cake mix is one of those things that you can easily get at a corner store, some crappy Pillsbury cake mix.
So it stays forever.
Yeah.
It's like flour, right?
Exactly. Yeah, it's like Bisquick or whatever. Yeah. So, interesting, because I have a hankering for cookie dough all the time. But I'm not going to make my own cookie dough all the time. And sometimes the fancy markets don't stay open very late that have the cookie dough on hand.
Are you trying to learn another language?
Always, yeah.
So when trying to
currently.
learn a new language, read children's books in that language.
That's a good call because you think, well, I don't know, I'm an adult, but yes, I mean, you're starting to read from a very basic level.
Yeah.
So if you can get past the cute little elephants and stuff, which actually might be kind of fun. It's a good excuse to read books for 3-year-olds.
Yeah, Jane rides her bike. Jane.
Run, Jane, run.
Did you never read those books?
I probably did.
Yeah. My favorite of the new subreddits is NotTheOnion. This is, instead of showing off a story that I've chosen this week, we're just going to choose our favorite new subreddits. And mine is NotTheOnion. These are headlines that are so bad that they should probably have been written for The Onion, but are in fact true real-life stories. Yeah, some of these are brutal, like college student orders a hit on themselves to avoid finals, or U.S. Patent Office. Wait, no, that's not. I wanted there was one about the U.S. Postmaster General. American citizens aren't our customers. It's just like, these are so bad.
Who are the customers?
The
American.
Yeah, if you actually read, and this is a real article, the customers.
American visa holders.
No, spam.
I see.
Yeah, the people who put like hundreds of mailers in your mailbox.
Oh, great.
Is the U.S.
Awesome. Yeah. By the way, on those LifeProTips, AOL_ gave us the cookie dough recipe.
Oh, sorry.
Kudos to you
AOL_
because you're going to help me get fat. And Broadsword24 gave us the learning the language for children's books tip. And then RyeGuy24 gave us, we didn't even talk about this tip.
No.
Okay, this is a good one. If you hate telemarketers and they're hounding you, I've got this one telemarketer. I assume it's all the same company.
Yeah.
And it's always, it's something in Spanish, right? And like my Spanish is okay, but I can't communicate with them.
Right.
And I can't ever get to the point where I press 0 enough to get somebody on the phone.
Right.
So it's just this stupid thing that I always have to hang up. If you start your voicemail with a disconnected number tone, telemarketers aren't going to hang around to find out if you're playing with them. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So they'll just hang up right away because it's all kind of automated.
Yeah, because they want to get off that and on to the next call.
Exactly. It's sort of the same way where if there's enough of a little pause, you're like, this isn't going to be a friend.
Yeah, exactly.
And that's why I never answer my phone anymore. But yeah, that you can fix your voicemail. And then just tell like the 5 people who still call you, hey, I've got this disconnected thing because I've got these Spanish telemarketers.
But you could even do the disconnected tone and then say, hey, this is Sarah Lane's voicemail box. I'm not here right now.
Well, yes, of course, but your mom might be like, "Oh my, is there anything wrong with your phone?"
Oh,
I would give them a heads up. But that is a good little life tip there, RyeGuy24.
Yep. And the college student hit story was Jack Booted Fug, and the story about the.
What are you talking about?
I'm talking about my subreddit.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. You're back to NotTheOnion.
Yes, NotTheOnion. Back to NotTheOnion.
The Reddit universe is vast, and I get confused easily.
The Postmaster General story was submitted by Ribbit.
So the subreddit that I've chosen this week is TooHotForTV. It is TIFU, other known as Tifu, which is...
today,
how do I say this? I guess...
Today I effed up.
Today I effed up, yes.
Today I effed up, right.
And you understand what that word actually is. So we're not actually going to show the page because that word appears all over it.
Right.
But you get the idea. And it's kind of sad.
It's stories of people who screwed up badly.
Yeah, and it's instead of Today I Learned, which we'll get to a little bit later in the show because that's one of our little categories, but it's basically my giant fail of the day would be another way that you could say it.
Man.
Tifu.
Yeah.
And it's kind of like if you want to feel better about your day, if you're just having a crappy day, this is the subreddit to go to because you're like, at least I'm not that guy.
Yeah. And some of them, like I believe that a few of them are kind of like, I screwed up my whole life today.
Right.
Like this isn't just a day that I screwed up; it's my whole life.
Right. Yeah. Like a pivotal thing happened that will change the course of my life for the worse.
Yeah.
And that blows.
Yeah.
But again, it can boost my spirits a little bit because sometimes I get a little bit of a pity party. All right.
So today's video ad break number 1 is, hey, pass me a beer. Number 2, submitted by Florence. And
well, it's not an ad. It's just a video break.
No, it's just a video break, but I gotta attribute. But anyway, it's a video of a whole bunch of guys passing each other beers in very interesting ways. Funny thing is that basically all of the beers are always really carbonated and shook up by the time that it gets to them. Because they're doing... Now, this one isn't so much. He's using a BB gun to shoot down the balloons, and it's kind of a long-winded one, but it arrives, he opens it. Some of them, I think, yeah, he's throwing it off the wall. And then...
How many times do they have to do that?
This was amazing because he grabs it and it stays on the plane. And he just keeps opening it inside of a gigantic...
These dudes are the best. I want to party with these dudes.
Right?
Seriously.
And this was so good, this is number 2 in the series, so...
What are they, is it Pabst? Is that what they're...
Old Milwaukee. Cold Milwaukee.
Old
there
Milwaukee
it goes.
Light. Oh, which I don't even know if I've ever had. I probably had it in my life. It's probably really bad.
I just love their khaki pants. And they're
By the way, it should be mentioned that if you are an audio listener of the show, hey, we salute you, welcome, but you're really missing all the good stuff. If at all possible, you should really watch, or we just sound very odd right now. Very odd indeed.
Yep. And so there we go. That's the video ad break of the...
Do you think that people in Wisconsin are all like that? Because if so, I think we need to take a road trip.
I think so. I think
Milwaukee.
That's, yeah,
they're just beer drinkers who are ready to get creative.
Yeah, if you order a beer at the bar, expect it to come at you fast and furious, and it's probably going to be very overly carbonated by the time it arrives.
All right, let's move on to in other news. This one is going to knock your socks off. It knocked mine off. See? No socks.
Whoa!
Ben Affleck has been banned from blackjack after being caught counting cards. Now this was submitted by Richard Yaw. Some of you may know him from our IRC chat room. It was the first story submitted to the RedditUp subreddit.
Woo! Woo! I think that's so funny.
Not the first, but the first like story
that we liked so much.
Story that comes from the ether, you know, out in the world there. Yeah, so congrats to you,
Ben Affleck
Richard
is such a badass.
You know,
he was counting cards.
Well,
he got kicked out anyway.
I mean, that's but like, can we? It's just you're moving on too quickly. Ben Affleck.
Yeah.
Superstar.
Yeah. He doesn't need to count cards.
Father of 3.
Yeah.
You know, husband to what's her name?
Yeah. That chick.
She's a card counter.
Who?
Jennifer
Gardner?
I know who it is.
Sure.
I was just making a joke.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm telling you, like, that is, you cannot, I cannot imagine telling my friends, sorry, I can't go to the blackjack tables anymore because I've been banned. It's like kind of a bummer story.
It's a little badass, actually.
That's what I said. And it's like, but why?
Just gonna count some cards
because I was counting cards.
Yeah.
I was literally being the Rain Man and counting cards, and I got kicked out.
Right.
Sorry, can't play cards with you.
Well, see, he got kicked out because he was good at it.
Yeah.
Or maybe he wasn't good. I don't know. I actually am not sure how it goes. But
he's like at the table with his hands, like.
Anyway, Ben, keep fighting the good fight. You can come play blackjack at my house anytime.
I love this next story. Harvard researchers have created switches that are the size of atoms that can be turned on and off, just like transistors, using a single photon to turn on and off these switches, just like you would any processor. So this is the next step in absurd quantum computing for the quantum internet. I mean, this is gonna be absolutely amazing in creating quantum switches.
You know what was interesting is A Great Wind submitted this story, and then the author of this paper, where all this information is coming from, showed up in the comment section.
Yeah?
To answer questions about how quantum computing really works.
Yeah.
Which is amazing.
Isn't that amazing?
Well, obviously he's probably like, dude, I'm thrilled about this.
Heck yeah.
What can I answer for you so we can all get pumped?
I always find that is true with people who are academic. They always have time to talk about basically, you know, whatever they're working on, because they're just so excited about it.
In some cases, it's like you've devoted your life to this, so you kind of want to spread the word. In other words, people are like, oh, that guy Brian, he just sits around all day with his nose in a book.
Yeah.
Brian's like, it's quantum computing.
Quantum
I'm
switches.
figuring things
It's the
out.
size of a single atom.
I'm hitting
so
the
amazing.
switches. Quantum switches.
So amazing.
All right, next, this one's actually pretty fun. This was submitted by Theft Scott Fitzgerald. See what you did there. And it's called Quite Possibly the Most 90s Picture in Existence. Here's the picture.
AOL on American Online on the...
I have a few problems with this photo.
Who is this guy?
I don't know.
Okay, that's good.
But first of all,
Who? He's a WWE dude.
oh, so he's a wrestler.
Yeah.
All right, that's how I don't know him.
Got it.
Scroll down a little bit. The pants are too tight for 90s. America Online, okay, that actually looks like my old IBM computer. A guy in the back has a I guess, Worldwide Wrestling shirt. But wasn't that WWF back in the 90s? Didn't that only become WWE in the 2000s? I'm getting a little nitpicky here, but hey, man, if you're gonna submit something that is the most 90s picture in existence, I'm gonna call you out on some inconsistencies.
Okay, how about this one?
I also just don't like that wrestler guy. He looks like he shaves his chest. I just don't like
He
anything
looked very
about it.
orange also.
That too.
In the comments, Argyun commented back, well, I think that this is actually the most 90s picture with both Michael Jackson and Michael Jordan, both MJs.
And Macaulay Culkin.
And I would look at the shoes, look at those socks.
Wait, here's what's weird about this photo, and not to speak ill of the dead or anything, but like, why is Michael Jackson even in the photo?
Apparently,
Macaulay Culkin and Michael
Macaulay
Jordan
Culkin-
are wearing the Jordans, and then Michael Jackson is just like creepily touching shoulders.
But I read up on this because I was confused about this too. Apparently, Michael Jackson and Macaulay Culkin were like friends. Like they hung out together.
No, okay, sure. I
bet they were together and Michael Jordan just happened to be there.
Okay, Macaulay Culkin. Yeah, Macaulay Culkin is like a star of one of Michael Jackson's videos, so that's fine. It's still a strange photo.
It's a very strange photo, but much more 90s, wouldn't you say?
Oh yeah. Oh, that's 90s, all right. There is another. The thread sort of got going at this point, and hey, who doesn't love the 90s? So, El Shizzo replied with this photo, which is titled "The Fresh Prince of Nintendo." Let's see it.
And there we go. That's pretty. Those pants. That kind of makes it.
Yeah.
Golly.
Yeah.
That guy's a dad now.
It's just that old NES thing. I still got mine somewhere.
That carpet, I think, I don't think Zebra kind of went out of style after the 90s.
Well, you should hang out in some of my friends' houses. No.
But, okay, so it started
names.
getting real awesome.
Okay.
When TWA727
That's the username.
Yeah, that's the username. Blew everyone's minds with this photo of Microsoft Windows 95 VHS video guide with Jennifer Aniston and Matthew Perry. Is this not the most 90s photo you've ever seen?
So they're just like gonna tell us how to use Windows 95?
Yeah, and
in
VHS
a cool way.
quality.
She's wearing a velvet dress, by the way. I just want to point that out.
Yeah, is that a bad thing?
Yes.
Here's the cool thing.
Everything
is that
about it is bad.
We actually have the video of that VHS.
Let me see that video.
And
oh, look.
here they.
Modems, children's shareware, and our bridal peripheral salon.
Wow. Taskbars and email and shortcuts, oh my.
Taskbars and email and shortcuts, oh my.
Not.
Taskbars and email and shortcuts.
We must say it many times. Oh, we're still saying it when we come back.
Shortcuts, oh my.
Oh my gosh.
The Wicked Witch.
This is so bad.
Yeah, it's real bad.
You know what's kind of funny though is like, I mean, imagine back in the day, this is the old Friends, because I can tell from Rachel's hair. This is like Friends from 95, and there are a lot of people who are like, I don't know how Windows works. This is probably a pretty helpful walkthrough for a lot of people.
Yeah, it's just you get the tropes of technology videos. It blew right into my mic. Where you get all of the characters that are trying to understand the internet. Like look at these like. And they all just happen to show up, and they're all stupid, and they help.
Chad, Windows 95 was hard. I mean, be cool, man.
Look at that CRT
Not
monitor.
everybody was just an uber nerd. They had to learn how to use Windows and dance, apparently. Oh gosh, oh, they're singing now. Make it stop.
You know, I'll tell you something, I've learned so much, I feel like I've already been a part of the Windows 95 video.
Yeah, I know. It's an incredible program, isn't it?
Yeah, and the best thing is we've met some incredibly freakish and frightening people.
Uh-huh, and you know what, Maddie? I'm feeling kind of nutty and feeling kind of kooky.
Video.
So you know what I think I'm going to do?
What?
He has a substance abuse history.
I don't know how he could have gotten through it without it.
Kind of, yeah. This actually may be to blame.
Yeah, he's definitely on drugs. Anyway, so there's that.
Let's move on to. Let's move.
Okay, Dogecoin.
Okay.
Do you know about Dogecoin?
I know what it is.
Doge. So the Dogecoin subreddit teamed up with the NASCAR subreddit, and they sponsored an actual NASCAR car, and it has been wrapped with the Doge with Doge.
So what was it like? Everybody chips in $5 type of a thing?
Sort of a thing, yeah. I believe they needed to make $60,000.
Oh my goodness.
So the race went. They got in 20th place, but of course gifts galore have been created from Doge. Just look, it's just Doge.
That's really
on an
cute.
actual NASCAR. It's
That's
just
so adorable.
so hilarious. There was a few accidents, so a few of these. There's the Doge. Here, cut on over to mine. Here's an accident that just happened. The Doge is down there.
Much crash. So smoke.
Yeah. Wow. Much crash.
Dear.
So smoke.
Oh dear.
Moon this way.
You know, it's hard to laugh because I'm afraid all these people are dying in there.
No, everyone survived, I'm sure. I didn't do any research to find out.
Yeah, let's just say they're fine.
My favorite was also this GIF where he zaps this car and then, meow. So anyway, everyone had lots and lots and lots of fun with the Doge-wrapped car
now,
can I
say something that may be unpopular?
Yeah.
I feel like Doge was like.
It's kind of played out a little.
It's like very last October. Yeah. It's like one of those things. It's like a really solid month.
Yeah, I think.
Great meme.
Truly, I think Dogecoin is what has kept it going.
Right.
Is because
that's a legitimate
some
currency.
people who are kind of invested.
Sure. It's a form of Bitcoin.
Yeah, it's a Litecoin derivative. Yeah. So anyway, that was Dogecoin.
That's just, I mean, it's as weird as weird gets.
Right, and it segues perfectly into our next topic, AMAs, because the driver of the Dogecoin car, Joe Wise, and username Doge Driver, which I think is hilarious, did an AMA and saying, hey, I was the driver.
AMA, of course, is an Ask Me Anything.
Ask Me Anything.
Which is something that's very popular on Reddit week after week. So, all right, so what did the driver have to say?
So Butt Cruncher asks, what went through your head when you realized you were told you were getting into a crowd-funded car by cryptocurrency with the face of which was a Shiba Inu that says wow a lot? And Doge Driver responds, it took a little while to understand, but the more I knew, the more I loved it.
Well, that's great.
Good
work, Doge Driver.
98 says Josh was like, wow. And then Deadpool responds, much confusion, very dog, such love.
Gosh. Make it stop.
Very good.
You know, there was another AMA this week, and that was Will Wheaton's AMA.
I was excited about this last week.
Yeah, we each week we try to tell you what's coming up, and so that also happened over the last week. It was an AMA about, the way that it read was, hi, I'm Will Wheaton, AMA about Tabletop, the Will Wheaton Project, The Big Bang Theory, which he's been on, homebrewing, and of course, Rampart. Red Deli Bird asked Will, have you considered dressing up as Jonathan Frakes to conventions now that you have the beard for it? He's a bearded person, Will Wheaton, these days. And Will says, you know, I hadn't until just this moment. I think that's a thing that needs to happen. I'll do the walk and everything. And then Hideki said, what you got to do is that awesome chair thing that he does. And then, of course, there's a video to illustrate.
There you go. Pause, play, go, YouTube, go. You know, I'm going to lunge over this chair here.
It's very, I don't know. And Will says, if you watch one of the Big Bang Theory episodes I did this year, you'll see that I did the Riker when I sat down.
He's in too big of a hurry to actually bend around the chair.
Oh.
What?
Oh, okay.
What? Oh, sorry. And I gotta get away from that because we also had an AMA. This is the IAMA. Wait, am I supposed to do something else?
Yeah, you're supposed to show us what's on line 117.
Oh, got it.
You know,
I think Josh should do all
I feel like Josh should do all of this starting next week.
Right.
So that Chad doesn't have to.
There he goes. It's a pretty subtle workaround. You can hit Control+++ to make that much larger if you would like. There we go. Or just use TriCaster. It's close. It's a close one.
It's the sort of thing that if you were enough of a Star Trek, fanatic, you would appreciate that.
Right.
I think.
Absolutely.
Right?
Absolutely.
I didn't see that episode because I think The Big Bang Theory is not funny and I don't watch it. Oh. But that's just me.
That's a not popular thought on the internet.
Do you really think so?
I know.
I think most people think it's terrible, and then there's like a section of people who say, "No, it's really good."
Yeah.
I just don't get it, man. Yep. I don't know. I just don't get it.
And the top AMA of this week was an IAMA. I am a food truck driver who is having a slow night. And ask me anything about the rough parts of starting your own business for food trucks in general. This is from Emerson-esque. And Bad Dozer says, what is your approximate startup costs and what did that include? And Emerson-esque responds, this whole thing was funded solely by myself and 2 friend investors, friendvestors,
yeah,
right?
Like investors who are friends.
Who are friends. So our costs were very low in comparison to many. We've suffered
suffered for
it. Around $35,000 covered for buying the truck, converting it from nothing into a kitchen. Brother-in-law is a contractor and electrician, so that was cheaper than it should have been. Licenses, supplies, food, salaries, and diesel, etc. Everything was about $35,000.
Getting a food truck up and running is a little harder than I thought it would be, but you know what? Now we know. That's it's just hopeful, especially in places where food trucks are kind of hot. San Francisco has a ton of them.
Yep.
I actually know a couple people who have had food trucks and have abandoned them because they say it's just too much work.
It's a lot of work.
And there's a lot of competition too.
Yeah.
A couple other AMAs. Kylie Minogue had an AMA. She was the one who sang "Everybody's doing a brand new dance now." Well, actually, that was like when I was in junior high. She's had a few hits since then. Very nice. No, it was before the 90s, Chad.
Sorry.
Before the 90s. Thanks for reminding me. She was kind of diplomatic about her time on the Street Fighter set. A Redditor asked her out on a date to Chuck E. Cheese, and she didn't say no.
Anyway, so moving on. Sarah McLachlan admitted that even she changes the channel whenever those ASPCA commercials come on.
She's the singer who's in the arms of the angels, and then there's sad
like
puppies and kitties.
Like, I'm gonna die.
See, I always suffer through those because I feel like the message is very important.
Yeah, I mean, I
not
just
that I watch a lot of
donate
TV,
and then say I'm done. I donated.
Well, there you go.
Feel good.
That's the point.
Skip away.
So it was effective.
Right.
It was effective.
Right.
All right, so some AMAs coming up. The author of Freakonomics, Stephen Dubner, is doing an AMA on May 12th of next week.
The author of the True Blood series, Charlaine Harris.
And then Scott Dykers, founding editor of The Onion, on May 13th. You're going to love that.
Yeah, that's going to be fun.
Since you like articles that seem onion-like, but not.
For the full schedule, check the sidebar at reddit.com/RIAMA. And that is it. So
let's go on to our Aw of the Week. Who's ready? We mentioned Sarah McLachlan saying that she, also sometimes clicked away from those horrible commercials. There's a lot of cuteness in the world that's not being appreciated. So this is the Aw of the Week.
Oh my God, that cat has money. It's a pole dancing kitten.
That cat has huge balls.
I didn't notice that.
How could you not notice that?
I was looking at the face. I don't know.
That dog is wearing a little
He's ready.
That's just a duck. I don't know what's so cute about that. Oh, look, a bunny with a thing. Cone of shame.
Today I learned Sarah's not impressed by ducks.
Well, I mean, it's just a duck.
Look at that cat's eyes.
It's just a cat.
It's a cute cat.
Well, yeah, but I mean, okay, that's cute. Little baby. A person needs a manicure.
This cat is E.T.
Fist bump.
Cat ball bump.
Good
thank
one.
you. Thank you.
Thank
Very
you,
good.
everybody. Thanks, everybody. All right, let's go on to our subreddits of the week. We mentioned earlier in the show that there are thousands of them. I mean, it would be like a lifetime to keep on top of all the subreddits, but we figure we'll highlight a few each week and let you know about it. Old School Cool.
So that is subreddit of the week.
Is the subreddit of the week?
I feel like we're doing it.
Eventually, we'll have some like clapping. And
I'll bring
woo.
poppers and we'll.
Yeah, or we could just make a graphic or something.
Right.
But what Old School Cool is cool people from
cool.
from yesteryear.
Right.
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 From
cool
before.
times gone by.
Yeah.
Still
okay.
cool. Still holding it strong.
All right. So we've got Sigourney Weaver. You know her from the Alien movies and other stuff. Posted by Rambler and Gambler. Oh my goodness.
So cool.
Is it? Is it cool?
Yeah.
Like, okay, it's fine. It's cool. She
looks like.
She looks very noir.
Yeah.
I guess that's cool by definition, kind of. Okay, cool.
Man,
Love it.
I want to know the backstory.
Good
Why
work,
was she
Sigourney.
dressed up like that?
Oh, I'm sure it was some Annie Leibovitz photo shoot or something.
Or Burt Reynolds as the bandit, courtesy of our pile Lek.
Now that's fun. That's old school. I don't know if you call it cool. It's more Joker-ish. But there you.
I love the
have
light
it.
on the side of the car.
Burt
That's
Reynolds
so
was a little
old school.
before my time, so I don't really get him. But I like his hat a lot. I think his hat is cool. I would totally ride in that car.
I just think
it's
that
a
car.
T-top, I think.
That car, the colors of that car are so old school.
Good work.
Cool.
Karsten is our producer, Karsten Bonnie, says, is the coolest old school picture of them all. This is Evel Knievel, submitted by Technar. Yeah, okay, whatever.
That's pretty cool.
You're popping your wheelie.
What do you mean? That's cool any age.
Yeah, okay. I like his pants.
I also just like how you can tell this is vintage, vintage cool.
Can you, Chad?
How
with
could
all,
you not? Look at that.
All of the Photoshop
That looks like it was
options
shot
available to us today.
in like 1980s Nevada,
Nevada. Don't be weird.
Nevada.
That could be
Look
an
at that Harley
Instagram
Davidson.
filter.
I don't even know if it is a Harley Davidson.
I'm sorry, I'm being a hater. It's a cool picture. It's a cool picture.
It's an interesting
Yeah,
photo.
it's cool because it's old.
So now we're going to get to the Ask Reddit. This is where we take something from the Ask Reddit subreddit and then answer it ourselves.
Okay.
We're actually going to go a little bit off form, and we liked this one from last week so much that we're bringing it back, and that this is actually a week-old question that we're going to answer.
Well, because we ran out of time last week and we skipped it, so we're gonna.
And this week we didn't really like any of the questions, so we kind of went back in time to answer this one.
There are no rules here.
No. So the question is, what is the biggest incorrect fact that you've always believed and insisted you were right until you learned you were wrong?
Oh, who should go first? You want
I'll
me?
go first.
Okay.
I'll go first.
All right,
So
all right.
this goes back to my parents. This is the fault of my parents.
Okay.
Is that when I was young, they taught me all sorts of things that didn't exist.
Okay.
Normally, they were to curb. They were ways to.
Like keep
me from doing
bad
something
behavior.
bad behavior. Yeah, right.
Or
So,
embarrassing or
right. So
not,
one
not
thing
an acceptable
they
social.
they taught me that fart
Yes.
was a bad word.
Oh, okay.
And that fart, I understood what a fart was, but I wasn't allowed to say fart.
Okay. It was, yeah.
The word that I should really use and the word that is acceptable in all situations is fluffy.
Like,
I grew
excuse
up
me, I fluffied?
thinking, yes, I'm sorry that I just fluffied. Was a word. And it's weird for me to even tell the story because it's ingrained in my brain. That fluffy means fart.
So
I just fluffied.
So if somebody like
Not now.
has a dog named Fluffy, you're kind of like,
No, it also meant that something was fluffy. Like,
Okay.
it was like
It was just
fluffy was a verb. It wasn't a noun. It wasn't an adjective.
Okay.
It was you would fluffy and
then you'd say, excuse me.
Yeah, and it is still, like, to this day, I still think, like, if someone was to be like, man, did you just fluffy? I'd been like, no, it wasn't me. It must have been the dog. Like, I would not blink if someone said that. They also taught me that they could feel my stomach to tell if I was full or not.
Okay.
And when I was done eating, I'd be like, I'm done. And they'd be like, show me your stomach. And they'd feel it, and they'd be like, you got room for those green beans. Sorry. And I'd be like, damn, I do have room for the green beans. I can eat those green beans. And then I'd be like, okay, I'm done. Can I have dessert? And they're like, no room for dessert. Sorry, it's full. I was like, you sure? Can you check again? I really think I have room for dessert. No, it's full. Your stomach's full. I'm sorry. And they'd feel my stomach.
Oh, you poor kid.
Yeah.
Oh, how awkward.
I totally thought that was real.
How awkward. Before we get to mine, there are a couple that were submitted by the community. Walrus the Warlock. Walrus the Warlock. That's a tongue twister of a username. Said that, or he was the one who submitted this question actually. T-Bro-Chew8 thought that UV radiation referred to ultraviolet rays. Now that is, I don't know. I mean, if you were a kid, I can see that being something that you know you thought. Smexer123 said he or she always thought that they were called vanilla folders, not manila folders.
Because they look like vanilla.
Said it took me most of my childhood and teenagehood and a fight with my mom until I looked it up. I was devastated because no one had corrected me all of that time.
They do look vanilla-y, like vanilla bean flavored.
Yes.
Folders.
And then Mr. Pudding Face thought that bees make honey, so wasps must make syrup.
I hadn't read that far in the doc.
Oh, it's got a big laugh
that
from
surprised
the
me.
left side of the
like,
set.
Well, what could wasps make? Syrup. Yeah, it's pretty funny.
Oh, Mr. Pudding Face. I mean, I don't know. Your problems might not end there. Okay, so
he says, cheers, stupid parents. I'm telling you, it all comes from parents. It's all parents' fault. What's your story?
Parents did it. Well, okay, so there's one that's like a play on words, and there's one that's kind of worse. It's a little bit more bodily function related. But I did, there's two. So I always did think that when someone says, yeah, you know, the whole kit and caboodle, I thought it was kitten caboodle. It was a caboodle of kittens. And now I know that there is no caboodle of kittens, but I always thought that was just like, what a great expression.
Yeah.
Because it's this whole thing in the English vernacular, it's about kittens. And then I don't know, I went through, like, I got to adulthood never reading it.
So, like, a caboodle of kittens is like a lot of kittens.
Just a kitten caboodle.
So, man, the whole kitten caboodle, like the whole lot of kittens. All the kittens.
And I saw it written, and I was like, well, that's wrong. Somebody got that wrong, and then somebody's, oh, it was the worst, because it sucks now. Kit and caboodle is just a crappy expression. I never use it because it's not what I thought it was. Now, the more embarrassing one is, and it kind of plays into your childhood thing as well, the name for people's parts.
Yeah, private parts.
But when I was a kid, my parents said that it was called a peewee.
Peewee,
so if you're gonna reference it, that's what it is, right? You're a little kid, whatever. It was fine, you know. It's just sometimes you have to talk about it. Okay. Well, when I got old enough to see my first peewee golf course,
you were like, this is disgusting.
I was so traumatized because I'm like, well, first of all, there's like weird ceramic, like bears and like and like windmills and just kind of weird stuff in general, peewee golf. But like, why are they calling it that?
Are people naked
while
they're golfing?
That is wrong. And it took a few years of undoing before I even wanted to play peewee golf because I was just like, this is just gross.
Yeah.
So that's that.
Yeah,
Thanks, parents. You're the best.
I swear that there had to be some moment when I was just like, did you just fluffy? And someone was like, what?
Never say that. Never say that.
You just fluffied. I can smell it. And they're like, what are you saying? And like, middle school.
That's a good way to clear a room.
Yeah.
All right, so let's talk about TILs. Means today I learned.
Captain Cook Yo informs us that when playing an American character, Christian Bale uses an American accent during press interviews so that the audience isn't confused. I had no idea that he normally has a British accent, or doesn't have.
He's Welsh, I believe.
Well, I had no idea. I assumed it was American.
You know what's kind of funny? I'm gonna call BS a little bit. Now I don't know how Christian Bale has done things as of late, but I actually interviewed him for one of the Batman movies.
Oh, did you?
Yeah. In fact, I guess it was the first one where he was Batman. It was with Katie Holmes and whatever. And yeah, I was living in LA at the time, and that was my job. And his accent was real weird. I was like, I don't even know what he's doing right now. It definitely wasn't an American accent, but maybe things have changed since then. Captain Cook. Peacock Doom points out that Teen Spirit was a real deodorant. One of Kurt Cobain's friends apparently spray painted "Kurt smells like Teen Spirit" on his wall because Kurt's then girlfriend wore the deodorant Teen Spirit, which led to the title, of course, their hit song. You know, that's not unfamiliar to me because guess who used to wear it?
You wore Teen Spirit?
Teen Spirit.
Before or after this song?
Before.
Wow.
Yeah, so when the song came out, I was like, it smells like Teen Spirit.
Smells like, I get it.
Deodorant.
Right.
It was very, I don't remember the brand, but there was Teen Spirit and then there was Caribbean Cool, which was what I graduated to after Teen Spirit went out of vogue. See, girls we all do the same thing. Like we travel in packs and we're real mean to each other. We all have to wear the same deodorant.
It's like winning the lottery if you get the girl crowd.
Yeah, deodorant, cheap perfume from Walgreens. Everybody has to do the same thing.
That is funny.
For a day.
C-Tine tells us that George R.R. Martin bought the first ticket to the first Comic-Con in 1964.
What?
Yeah.
Come on.
Yeah.
Could that be more perfect?
That's pretty amazing. I don't know how did he get on that train? I guess he was popular
life
back
calling,
then.
apparently.
Yeah.
Apparently. Cleric, who spells it with a K and a 3, reminds us that despite making the film and all of the evidence against it, George Lucas is adamant that Greedo shot first.
What?
Which makes...
Who switched it?
I don't know.
Who was the man that switched it?
I don't know.
That's ridiculous.
I think that's just George Lucas,
pandering,
laughing at everybody and saying,
He's
I
switched that.
He
stuff.
did.
Greedo shot first. And that about wraps it up for this episode of Reddit Up. Please, we would love for you to participate in our subreddit, r/RedditUp. You can submit stories. Let us know what you want us to talk about on the show. Give us feedback.
Ben Affleck card counting got on the show.
Got on
because
the subreddit.
Richard Yaw submitted it, and you can too. A different story next time. Obviously, we've already talked about that one.
Right. Yeah, we don't want just card counting stories. If you could.
Yes. The top Reddit Up comment of the week in our Reddit Up subreddit was posted by Timothy JB, who said, and this is in reference to the DuckTales video that we posted last week that you recognized right away. It was kind of like that jazz quartet, if you want to call them that, and I was like, He says, the guy on the right in that DuckTales video was playing on an Akai Iwi, which is a certain kind of electronic wind instrument.
I was like, it looks like
we didn't know what it was.
Yeah.
Some sort of clarinet, fancy clarinet. He says you can think of it like an electronic clarinet or saxophone if you want. There's a USB model that hooks up to a computer, or the 4000S model with MIDI connections. It takes breath input through the mouthpiece as a MIDI input for modifying the sound output, and the keys work like you'd expect, except that instead of closing holes in a wood instrument, they're touch sensitive, if I remember correctly. Timothy, bring in the knowledge.
That's really cool. That reminds me, there's a thing called like the Z drum that is kind of like that, but it's for a drum. That's really neat.
Cool story, Chad.
It is cool, yeah.
And that does it for real for this episode of Reddit Up. Thanks everybody for watching.
We shoot this show on Thursdays at around 4:30 Pacific. It's about 7:30 Eastern if you want to watch live. Currently, where are they being published? Inside TWiT? YouTube.com/TWiT?
We're kind of just throwing them out into the universe and seeing what you guys think. And yes, we are still in experimentation mode.
Beta mode.
So if there's anything that you really like about the show, or something that you're like, do let us know, because it is a work in progress. Like we said at the beginning of the show, we're kind of trying to figure out what the right set is for us and what kind of information we can cram into a little under an hour and keep everything fun for everyone. So yeah, help us make the best show possible.
Awesome. And that about wraps it up.
See you next week. Bye.